Athelstan, or Bigfoot, who reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Edward remains in the dastardly clutches of the local bullies, only to end up snuggling with the head bully's sister. James happens to sprint through the disgusting snuggle scene on his quest to assist Athelstan, but doesn't stop or explain anything to Edward. Edward sees this as an insult to their friendship, while James sees his actions as the proper response to an emergency situation. The two can't seem to reconcile, and James never explains why he didn't stop. James now has to start over in the friend department. Edward and his new girlfriend Janice, the bully's sister, along with Megan and Blake, form a clique, while James ends up with a new and strange enemy, the campground manager, Casper, who claims James' picture of Athelstan as his own. Casper then goes on the local news to tell the world he has faced down a real Bigfoot and lived, and just happened to have a camera ready to snap off a photo. Eventually, James meets Amaris, and after a rocky start, the two become best friends. On their trick-or-treat outing, Amaris runs into a store to use the restroom while James, patiently waiting outside, gets kidnapped by Casper and Rufus in an attempt to recruit him in their fight against a group of Bigfoot creatures who attacked Casper's campground office. When Amaris returns, James is gone. This starts another friend crisis for James, and with little else left to hold on to, he reluctantly agrees to join forces with Casper. Now, on to Book 2, Sneypa. Sunday, 1st November, 2015. James sat silently staring into Casper's accusing eyes. No one said it, but the two were locked in combat, neither willing to blink first. Rufus' hands were clasped together, his fingers fidgeting at near supersonic speed as he watched his two friends. "I was hoping this moment would be slightly more friendly." "What do you mean?" James' voice had a gritted teeth sound to it.
"Yeah, who isn't being friendly?"
Casper said, his eyes starting to water.
"Well, we've been here for," Rufus glanced at his watch, "about 20 minutes, and, well, do I have to explain?"
James and Casper didn't move.
"Why don't we just get started? James came here like you asked."
Rufus stood.
"Let's just show him the room."
Casper shot up to his feet, eyes darting towards Rufus' voice.
"No!"
James slammed his hands down on the table and stood, thrusting his arms into a victory pose.
"Ha!"
Casper threw back his head. Agony spread on his face.
"No, no, 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 no."
"I thought it wasn't a contest," Rufus said.
"It wasn't,"
James and Casper said simultaneously. 3 large masses moved through the wooded area surrounding the bridge. It was getting dark, but they were still careful. Despite their open attack on the manager's office, the 3 were now extremely cautious. Somehow, the old man escaped, taking their sought-after prize with him. So, rather than make another spectacle of themselves, they retreated to the chamber until they could plan their next course of action. The decision to include the great Skelring's descendant, referred to as the Aplum, or heir, within their numbers, had been unanimous. Having the Aplum would bring the Skelring more followers. It would give them legitimacy among those with wavering loyalty to the High Council. It would bring out those fearful of reprise from the High Council, and give them courage to join the Skelring ranks. The end goal was clear, but the means and methods to be used to entice the Aplum into joining were a topic that brought much debate. As with all great military tactics, timing was key. But time was something the Skelring had in short supply. There was no more time for argument.